Hello and welcome back to my channel SeeSharp, in that where we teach you how to use Visual Studio 2010, and the code works on Visual Studio 2008, 2012 and 2013. So it doesn't matter which Visual Studio you have. What we do or how we learn is that the code will be able to run, and the information you get from the video you can be able to incorporate it in whatever you intend to do. Yes, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to use the button and the text box, and how we're going to be able to populate a different text box with information from a different one. Right now this may be foreign language I'm speaking right now, but you'll understand it when we do it. So previously we made a project and we call it first SeeSharp, which is here. If yours is in here, just go to, you can click on open project, or you can go to file, open project, and just type F, take you to first SeeSharp, open it and click on this one, and the project will run. And this is how far we got last time. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a button. So let's go to the toolbox and select a button and just put it right here, and we can make this a bit shorter because we don't need all that space. And let's change the name of the text in the button to, let's just call it change. No, let's call it populate, because what we're going to be doing is by clicking on this button, we're going to be able to populate the text box with text. And let's change the name of the button. So just click on the button and go to properties, and let's rename the button as btn populate, just for easier understanding, like, so that we know what button or what control is called what, instead of it being called button 1, which is just so ambiguous and all that. Let's just call it populate. And what we want this button to do is, once we click the button, we want it to populate a text box. So we are also going to go to the toolbox and get a text box. So just scroll down in the toolbox and you will find the text box under T. T is down here, text box. Click on the text box, and then you can drag and drop it over here. So, and let's rename this text box populate. Let's just call it that. Alright. And as I said, we're gonna, by clicking on this button, so once we click on the button, there's going to be text that we're going to put inside this text box. So we're going to use the event click, because as I said, once we click on the button, we're going to be able to populate the text box. So go to this lightning bolt, which is the events, and I told you about what an event is, and we're going to use this click event. So double click here, you see where the cursor is right now, just double click and it'll take you to this area where we're going to write the code. And a shortcut, instead of you having always to go to your lightning bolt, you can just double click on the button itself and it'll take you to the same place. Right? And we're going to be writing code that's going to add text into this text box. So the name of this text box is what we need. So we're going to go to properties, and we can just copy paste the name. So just go to name, copy it, and we'll paste it right here. Yeah, right. And we want text from the text box, because we're going to be populating the text. So use this full stop. This full stop is an operator, and an operator is a symbol that specifies the operation that's going to be carried out within the code we're going to write. So operators are symbols that specify the operation to be carried out. So we want text, alright? So just type text, TE, and Visual Studio already gives you text. So just press enter and say it's equal to, let's write C#. So between these speech marks, write C# and then use a semicolon. The way we use a full stop in a normal sentence, like grammar, to end a sentence, we use a full stop. In Visual Studio C#, Winforms, we use a semicolon. So for you to end your statement, you write or you put a semicolon. Alright, so what this code says, it says that the text C# is going to be put in the text box known as text populate. So once we click here, or we can press F5 and the program runs. Once we click on populate, because we said the event we use is click, we didn't use double click or scroll, we use click. So once we click on this right here, the text C# should show in this text box. So let's click on it, and you see it shows, because we said in the code, we said that this text C# is going to be in this text box, right? And the code runs. So now let's have some fun with it. Let's get another tool. Let's go to the toolbox and get another text box, and let's put the text box here. And let's rename this text box for easier understanding. We call it populated, right? Populated. This one we call text box populate. This one is going to say populated, right? And we'll just double click on this button again. We're still going to use the click event, as you can see over here, and let's change the code up. All right, what we want the program to do, we want, once we click on the button, we want this information to be put into this text box. So we're going to link this text box to this text box, right? Not this text box to this text box, but this one to this one. There's a difference. That's why I'm emphasizing. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the name of the second text box, which is text box populated, and we want text, yeah? So write text, and then we write the name of the first text box, which is text box populate dot text, right? And then end the statement with a semicolon, as I said before. So what this code says, it says that the information in the first text box, which is text box populate, is going to be put into this text box populated. So it says that this information is going to be put into here. It doesn't say that this information is going to be put into here, because if we rewrote this statement as the other way around, in that this text box populate is here and this one is here, it means that this text box information is going to be put into this one. So there's a difference, right? So let's run the code and see if our code works. So let's write something into the first text box. Let's say C#, right? And once we populate, you see that the second text box gets that information. And if I erase everything and populate, you see it has nothing, so this has nothing. And if I write C# inside here, the code we wrote said that this information goes inside here, not that this one goes inside here. So if I press populate, this information should not go into this one, right? You see, this text box takes what is inside here, and there's nothing inside here. So what we've done is we have populated the second text box from the first. Okay, we've not done the second to the first, we've done the first to the second. And we can have more fun with it. Like, if you don't want the text inside here to be tampered with, like you just want the user to read it, you can just click on the control, then scroll down in your properties and go to visible, and set your visible to false. And once you do that, we run the code, you're gonna see that, no, sorry, we made a mistake. What we did is we hid the text box from the users. What we should have done is, so just remove false, set it to true. What we should have done is we go to read only, and set your read only to true. Once you set your read only to true and you write SeeSharp here and you populate it, now you see you can't type anything in this text box. So now the user can only see the information, they can't tamper with it, which comes in handy if you want your program to do that. What else can we do? We can use a password property. So what this password property does is that if you have a program that you don't want people to see what's in that text box, maybe like a login, you just set the password character to whatever you want. So you can set it to, let's say, a star, an asterisk. So once you run the program, and SeeSharp should show inside here based on the code we've written. But since we've used the property of password character asterisk should show inside there. You see, once you populate it, that this stars or these asterisks are actually the word SeeSharp, but you can't see them. So that comes in handy as if you want your program to do that. Basically, that's what this video is just about. It's about linking these two text boxes, and if you want your program to show data that you've entered somewhere else as the user continues to use a program, in terms of populating a text box with information from a different text box, we've learned that, and we've also learned about the event click, and we've learned about how to get back here, and we've learned about the operators and what an operator is, and we said that an operator is a symbol that specifies what operation is going to be carried out in the equation or the code we have written. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's been comprehensive. I hope you've understood, and I hope you've subscribed and you're enjoying